Продолжаем.
The pattern of the blood. JHN are probably. These abbreviations mean. Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best. This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a break-in. This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there! All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't.
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't.
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't. I'm not. It's a terrible mistake.
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But
in light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
В комнате для улик.
Mr. Holmes?
Мистер Холмс. Тут. Было бы забавно, если дверь не открылась. What's up, young boy? Итак, записная книжка.
Does this notebook belong to you?
yes. But where did you find it? I did not know. I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Гаденыш.
Oh no! I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Так, дедовский метод. Крепко. Следы на шее. Пуговицы вроде хватает. Заплатка на этой штуковине. Что здесь? Короткие рукава. Шрам. А шрамы причем от мозолей. Куча мозолей. Пуговицы. Откуда-то снятые. Да.
Well,
Это дорогущий
I will see
костюм,
you
который
soon,
сразу
young man.
в раз
Please let me
ремонтируют.
go. I'm innocent.
Теперь был вооруженного не успел освоиться эффективно. Взломщик пытался проникнуть. А очень быстро. И кинул, что если он со всей дури его тупо воткнул.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I've done nothing.
Mr. Holmes?
Мистер Холмс.
Locked. Locked.
Где комната для улик? Морг. Нам в морг не надо. Вот это комната для улик. Вот
These
вещи
are the
Неллигана.
suspect's belongings. A pocket
Тут
knife.
нож, карман, нож,
It was used to
дверь
form
в каюту.
a handkerchief with the initials
Подписано
JHN.
ДХН. Кольцо.
And partner, 1883. From R. Dawson.
У нас есть новый чувак для подозрения.
To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey. These abbreviations. These are the suspect's belongings. The police seized this valuable...
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well,
Охренеть, мистер
I will
Холмс.
see you soon, young man.
Да вы
What am
просто
I doing here?
разъебали
I've done-
пьедестал.
Mr.
Мистер
At your
Холмс.
service, Mr. Holmes.
Бакер-стрет. Ничего не совпадает. Итого сейчас мы ведем мощнейший эксперимент с Вэтсоном на тему того, что мог ли мелкий дрищ прихуярить здорового мощного деда гарпуном к стене.
A spot of whaling, Watson? Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No,
Oh,
but
for
we do need to
sure.
clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man? Morphologically, I mean.
Дельфин, свинья.
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Нет.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
А он забрал с собой хотя бы один гарпун? На мой взгляд, нет.
That should do it. Now I am ready.
Чё? Такс.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
Heavy
A little
harpoon.
experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test. The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through. Holmes, you should try...
Ого.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or
Дьявольская удача.
diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Of course. Раскройте не похож на обычного воришку. Раскройте убийство. Скотланд-Ярд. Да, нам надо в Скотланд-Ярд. Некоторые факты. Нужно быть очень сильным, чтобы проткнуть человека гарпуном. Для этого понадобится мастерство. Вы вместе добились бы такого же результата. Маловероятно. А если это невероятные силы? Это был не бросок.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
At your service,
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Только не похож на обычного воришку. Какова роль в этом раскрытии убийства Питера Керри?
Locked.
Что же делать? Woodman Slim. Мы, короче, отправимся к бабке и что-нибудь спросим.
Who could do such a thing?
Наверняка в доме, может, что-то есть.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn.
Скотланд-Ярд. Хотя нет. Не Скотланд-Ярд, это Бакер-Стрит. Так, исследование. Гравировка на кольце. Вот. Газету посмотрим.
That is not the one I need.
Банкротство инвестиционного фонда. Неллиган сбежал в инвестиционный фонд, обвела банкротство в результате серьезных потерь. Это был 23-й банкротство, второй в истории по масштабам. Один из владельцев таинственно исчез, последний раз увидели на яхте, готовящейся к отправке в Норвегию.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Да.
Good gracious, you caught someone.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the...
Так. Нам надо посмотреть судовой журнал. Так. Чувака улики. Судовые журналы.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Такс. Короче, еще рано, походу, сюда идти. Наверняка пиздец нам что-то скажет.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nellie.
Yes. Josh...
I am aware that it had a bad ending.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but my father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at...
Получается, не плыли туды.
$18.83. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Ага.
This is the crew list of the... Log notes for July. Nothing
Ничего
special.
примечательного. Август.
Log notes for August.
Опа-на.
Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a... There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1880.
Третий основан на Бейкер-стрит.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn. I have only to find them. Let us...
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialists.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
Можешь позвать?
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Скотланд-Ярд нас туда вызывают. Не будем тормозить. Так.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always, what happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
Breathtaking.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Ботинки мы сравним со следами.
They're a size 9.5.
Это, вероятно, то, что подойдет под
The
следы.
stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals. A pen. These are the suspect's belongings. These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected. No, that's not it.
8532.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
Ага. подозреваемого в Скотланд-Ярде. Давай. А где новый подозреваемый? Джон Хартли.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
For interrogation.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even...
Precisely, and considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
За тебя скажут твои вещи,
we shall see.
Хохлатой синицей. Следы растений. Ботинки ничего необычного. Руки садовника. А все, он походу закончил. Шрам на шее.
That's all for now.
Короче, едем в Вудмонсли. Сравниваем с Багги. Ой.
These boots
Yeah.
match the footprints exactly.
Значит, бабка завязана в деле.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Пиздишь.
Thank you, madam.
Бакер-стрит.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could...
A new suspect, but this one refuses to talk.
Установить письмо Харт.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue. Third condition. First condition, second, third. First condition, all 7. Second
Same.
condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
А куда поставить?
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink for this purpose.
Синий. 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 Оранжевый. После оранжевый бесцветный. Снова оранжевый. Снова бесцветный.
Done. Now I can proceed further.
Охуеть. С первого раза.
Let us see if the content of this letter sheds a little light upon the mystery.
Я сделал, как вы просили, но хорошо их спрятал.
I did as you asked and hid them well.
Так, интересно, как
Interesting.
бы отреагировал на это. Вудмансли, Бейкер-стрит, нет, Скотланд-Ярд. Сейчас мы ткнем в лицо мелкому пиздюку это письмо. И... Отпечатки противников у нас отпали. С ботинками.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to...
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had these papers. They belong to my family.
That's all for now. Please escort... Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you...
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine?
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Коробку.
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well,
You're a smart one. But it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
Итак, что у нас? Раскрыть убийство. Что он пытается скрыть? Как он сад? Проверить. Отцовские акции в хижине, это весьма добрый. Поиск акций, не знаю. Пока что мы только собираем факты. Это уже потом мы будем сопоставлять.
Locked. Locked.
И ты иди открой.
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers...
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam. Let's see what could be hidden here.
Let's see. А вот и коробка.
Let us see what is in this box. Bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Вы были так добры. Я не могу. Я боюсь, что может случиться. Заработано, я не могу оставить, с которым меня соединяют. Это была его воля, мой муж. Второй раз в мою жизнь, вот, но не нужно волноваться. Короче, бабка нажаловалась этому чуваку. И чувак загуфил ее мужа.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Never mind. Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to...
Why did Mr. Hurtley put...
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after...
Well...
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible.
You believe that he...
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This is interesting. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for...
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Сальто.
My archive. I can always consult with it if... This is where I... My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
X. У него есть картина с Достоевским. Такс. В костюме моряка. Надо соединить улики.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Не могли дать повод для убийства. Хартли виновен. Не может быть виновным. Сделал все, как вы просили. Невиновен. Вероятно. Скорость акции. Вероятный мотив убийства. Нет. Два подозреваемых.
I can't leave here dressed like this. Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
Кисет. Короче, мы по классике. Я предлагаю ставить 8-й или 9-ю. Так он как задрот, а вот так он как нормальный айтишник.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
Да, пап, морская. Морская. What a boy. Шерлок Холмс, он же был боксер и вообще.
Hello there. Are you
молодец.
Cairns?
What do you want?
Дудец.
We've heard all about the gambling and arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort. and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
Пиздец.
That's the arm that killed 100 whales. Care to lose another 10 shillings?
Алтая Серьга, вероятно, говорит о том, что он один в семье. Причем не то, что один, а то, что у него один родитель остался. Сильные руки. Желтые ногти, потому что это грибок. Дешевая ежа. Продолжим.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
Что я должен был прочитать по его лицу, я не понимаю. Непонятно. Да, пиздец.
That's... Come back later, when you can use your arms again.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine.
Да что такое-то, ё-моё. Да что такое? Чё ж так тяжело-то, ё-моё, в самом-то деле? Да охренеть, сколько можно-то? Это очень, блин, долго и максимально занудно. Блять. На!
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner. Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I don't know. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all...
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Ghazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is. Have you got any tobacco?
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's, isn't it?
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's...
Осталось открыть убийство Джона Ниллигана. Почему? Надо бакер след. Сумасшедшая сила. Этого мало. Надо еще смотреть.
You met Patrick Cairns, the harpooner. Do you believe he's the murderer?
Нет. О, бля, пиздец. Можно сходить в Скотланд-Ярд, в принципе.
I'm not saying...
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
These are the suspects belonging.
Что же делать? Кернс виновен. Обвинить Кернса. Я сомневаюсь.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
Бля. Да, это жестко.
Are you all right? Are you able to stand?
Oh, my jaw. Gore. He took me by surprise, Mr. Holmes. Otherwise, he would have seen what I'm capable of. Oh.
Yes, he was lucky.
Ah. But you got him.
It was remarkably easy. He lost his balance after he struck you.
And you practice boxing, I know. You must have hit him.
We should call for a police cab and...
Yes, well, no need for a hospital. I would prefer...
Of course, in...
Питер Керри был убит Патриком Кернсом, профессиональным гарпунщиком, единственным, кто был способен совершить такой точный бросок. Бросок-то. Его табачный кисет обнаружили в хижине. Он хладнокровный убийца. Вы решили отдать его под суд, найденный в рек 16. Керс виновен. Приговор обвинить Кернса. Удерживайте, чтобы проверить себя. — 16. Другая версия. Да. Ваш рейтинг, искатель. Люди, решившие же, как и вы. Люди, сделавшие такой же моральный выбор. 40.
This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes.
For sure.
As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. I mean, certainly it sounds delightful.
But you haven't yet told me who your friend is, the one we're going to visit.
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover? Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth that I requested.
There is someone to see you, Mr. Holmes.
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes, I really think we ought to leave now.
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Perhaps you don't remember me. I'm Dr. Watson. We met at the Diogenes Club a few years ago. I documented our encounter in a short story I gave the title The Greek Interpreter.
He does remember you, Watson. My brother remembers everything, and that is why he is so valuable to the government.
We are about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently threaten both our country and the Crown itself. You must help us with those methods of yours.
Need? Help? Those are not words I would readily associate with you, Mycroft.
I wrote you a letter, but you did not reply. And this is not about politics. It's about people. People similar to those whom you pretend to defend in your petty detective affairs.
Everything is about politics with you, Mycroft. I'm not interested. Have some of your agents, your spies, or worse, undertake this job of yours. You are defending your people, and they have little to do with the people I choose to help, I can assure you.
That is the point. You think exactly as they do.
Who are they?
The Merry Men. He is talking about the Merry Men, a band of idealistic terrorists.
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft, and you are not the country. Although if your waistline expands very much further.
Mrs. Hudson, tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, the train conductor, Mr. Parker, is aware that you will be 7 minutes late. You are in the 4th car. The train will be waiting for you. Sherlock, enjoy your time in Staffordshire. And do, please, at least write to me on your return.
Так а что в итоге-то? Он поедет? Попадает в самый центр тайны. А, мы уже вернулись?
Holmes, please call a cab while I pack my suitcase. We shall be late for the train.
A map of London. Watson, I'll hold a cab for us. We leave in 5 minutes for the station.
What a gloomy night. It was warmer inside the waiting hall.
Since the station master told us that the train is about to arrive, we should not have to wait very much longer.
Yes, at last.
Attention! The train is arriving at the station. Please stand well away from the platform edge.
I'll take your bags and your blasted archive suitcase. But, Holmes, the headlight, it's faded away.
Something is wrong. I can't hear any sound from the incoming train.
Excuse me, sir. Can you explain what has happened?
I don't know. It's as if the train vanished into thin air.
Holmes, say something.
Quick, fetch a lantern and let us take a look.
It's too dark. Only fog and rails, nothing else.
There is no use in stumbling around here at night. We will come back tomorrow. Well, here we are again at Evesham Station. We have a full day ahead. This suitcase contains my archives. We can consult with it if needed. It is fortunate that we took it with us.
Oh, yeah?
First of all, let us examine the area where the train disappeared.
This is the place where we saw the train vanish last night.
There are no tracks or footprints on the ground. A discarded item, possibly thrown from the train. Railway sleepers, nothing unusual.
What should we do next, Holmes?
First of all, let us examine the area where the train disappeared.
Ничего необычного.
Trains can't just vanish without leaving a trace. It isn't possible, is it, Holmes?
For sure. У нас пока что нет улик. У нас есть 3. Следа.
What should we do next, Holmes? What should we do next, Holmes?
First of all, let us examine the area where the train disappeared.
Ну и типа доехал до сюда, окей.
Railway sleepers, nothing unusual. There are no tracks or the rails have not been touched. There's nothing unusual here. There are no signs to indicate that the train ran off the track, nor are there any other traces. There is nothing whatsoever. There are no clues. But then, a negative result is also a result.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. No clues and you're smiling.
Yes, Watson, I do smile on occasion. This mystery appears very promising. This investigation won't be simple. We shall require a map of the region.
Perhaps the station master could lend us one.
Every nice. Telegram.
A new telegram.
I think we should meet this Mr. Robinson.
Состав.
Here is the train set. A telegraph.
Карты района здесь не было.
Good morning. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Yes, I remember you. I'm Station Master Everett. You were here last night. So, you are Mr. Holmes, the great detective. Will you be investigating what happened?
I shall indeed.
It is extraordinary that an entire train could disappear like that. And to think of all the poor people inside it, the passengers, the driver.
Составим картинку персонажа. Сразу понятно, что он дед. Значок смотрителя, цепочка, вероятно, с часами. Извозюканные рукава. То, что он женат.
Could you please give us any details?
Well, there was nothing so very special about it. At least not that however, if you need it, you can have the train composition.
According to the train composition...
That's a highly secure car, ordered by a... Those wagons have iron walls, you know, without any windows.
That is important information.
Certainly not. No, that's private. And it's not...
I would be glad to have a detailed...
But of course, please, take...
See you later, my...
Это не зал ожидания.
This map...
Что перевозили? В секретном вагоне. Service.
This part is probably from a locomotive.
Да, вполне возможно.
An old locomotive bell. This part is... This place serves as a storage area for the station.
Здесь нас ничего не интересует. Так, допустим.
This part is probably...
Пока что еще не вяжется. У нас есть люди, которые там тусят. Можем, в принципе, у них поинтересоваться.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
Его на ходу разобрали на запчасти.
This suitcase contains my archives. We can consult with it if needed.
For sure.
A telegraph.
Значит, мы еще раз поговорим с дедом.
Was there anything except...
What do you mean? Like a fish? Oh, but now that you mention it, yes, there was a message from Bridlington station saying that the train had been delayed.
That... You mentioned a problem at Bridlington station.
Of course, it's a suburban...
See you later, my...
И в этот поселок. Здесь мы ничего пока не можем позырить.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a...
Easy, Watson, easy.
Railway post bags. A telegraph.
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Good day to you, sir. My name...
I see. I'm Station Master Bertram.
Do not worry. I have a...
Так, посмотрим, молодой. Это понятно. Красный галстук. Чистая одежда, клевые пуговицы. Инструкции, как пользоваться. Потому что он что-то писал. Проблема с пассажирами.
Station Master Everett from E...
Indeed. This train is a regular line for those who work at I've no idea why, and it delayed the train. But the worst of it is that they stayed here the whole night. But people do not usually pay much. There are very strict and clear rules. Paragraph 234 of Article 2G-43 states that in the event of a complaint, you must...
Yes, thank you. I understand. Apart from the passengers...
I did. And I mentioned it...
What was it? Confidential, you say?
I've worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Инструкция.
Let me speak frankly, Mr. Bertram. Your age and your lack of...
I was at the top of my class.
Listen here, young man. I am aware that you wish to protect yourself behind all these regulations, but I represent the law.
And you are obstructing the
First of all, and then...
What did the telegram say?
Well, that was the peculiar thing. It was almost unreadable. It was full of errors and awfully vague. It was hard...
We ought to visit Chesterfield Station. We need to confirm...
Don't touch anything, please.
Да нет, мы тут все потрогаем, все полапаем.
Don't touch anything, please.
Детективы. You know.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day. To whom am I speaking?
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is...
Are you a representative of this...
We are not from the railway company. We are...
Well, in that case, Mr. Shamrock...
Вероятно, он успешный и богатый, и немножко ковбой. И путешественник. Вероятно, охотник, но это не точно.
You must be Mr. Robinson, is that correct?
Yes.
I am leading the investigation of the disappearing train.
Well...
I presume...
Yes. It was to transport my valuable prototype safely to London. I'm a businessman.
You mentioned a director's board. Which company do they own?
The Chilean Barcazas Company. I had made an appointment with them. Now...
What do you know about the Barcazas Company?
It's a large South American...
This revolutionary machine of yours, was it very valuable?
I do not know if I will ever be able to get over this disaster.
Mr. Robinson, could you please clarify? Were you traveling along...
Yes, I was. But I had to step off the train. And all because of this stupid station master.
I received a telegram declaring that an important person, a Mr. Bromsby, wished to see you in the waiting room.
Mr. Bromsby is a wealthy gentleman. His interest in my invention was truly unexpected. So yes, of course, I agreed to see him. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. But despite my requests...
The timetable is strict. We cannot wait any longer. The regulations require the train to be on time.
You are an idiot!
Goodbye, sir.
This is an absolute scandal. It's always the same.
Дешевый билет. Грубая кожа. Тупо лох.
Please calm down, sir. What is your concern?
Last night I were on the train, then along came this ridiculous ticket inspector.
Were you aboard the train that vanished last night?
Yes. And then, to top...
Can you recall...
Well, yes. They were all foreigners.
Goodbye, sir. The ticket inspector forced all the passengers from the train, except for the directors of the Barcazes Chilean company.
The whole train?
I will not move.
Не случайно они остались в поезде. Скорее всего.
This bin is full of empty bottles.
Здесь, значит, было несколько людей.
I had thought that all station masters...
Но это азбуку Морзе. По-хорошему всем надо знать азбуку Морзе. Это полезная хуйня на самом деле.
How could he fall asleep at work like this? Excuse me, sir. Wake up. Ah, his breath. He must have swallowed half a distillery.
And that explains the how.
By his sleeping off the alcohol, you mean? Wake up, please, sir.
What? The 18-hour-72 train has arrived?
Good day to you. We are investigating the Were there any passengers who got off that...
No, nobody, it seems to me. Although I did not leave my office, so...
No doubt you were very busy.
You don't say. You can't ever get any peace around here. Now...
Красный нос. Леска ушел. Рыболов. Женатый рыболов. Но если рыболов, то сразу бухает. Я не понимаю. Чистая одежда.
Station Master Bertram from Bridlington showed me a strange...
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
The station...
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
И не опоздание поезда.
The station master, Bertram.
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
You were not tired, you were inebriated. Tell me the truth now, or I shall not hesitate to dock...
My friend means that you will end up by...
All right. So I was drunk. I don't remember all.
Holmes, this man has consumed a considerable amount of alcohol. He's not entirely helpless yet, but...
It will not be long before he is.
Пока что не буду спешить с выводами.
A fishing advertisement.
Holmes, how is it even possible for a train to disappear?
В принципе, easy.
A telegraph.
Ah, will I ever get any...
A handcar wheelbase. Interesting. It appears that elements of the same
Значит, ее разобрали.
Watson, please tell me, do you believe in magic?
Of course not, Holmes.
Then you are of the opinion that a train cannot simply disappear.
Well, we both know that that is obvious.
A little patience, Watson. You will understand my point quite soon. So, are you quite certain that you saw the train at Evesham Station?
Yes, of course. We saw it coming. The headlights, and heard the whistle.
Ничего подобного.
But that is it. We didn't see the train itself.
But... Oh, Holmes, I'm a little confused.
Поезда не видели, получается. Потому что это и не был поезд на самом деле.
Locked. There is no sense in asking the station master.
Инструменты.
These tools were used quite... Railway post bags. You have quite a...
Ah, yes. Well, thank you for reminding me.
I meant...
Some workers come here and borrowed them from me. They wanted to lift the edge of the railway to one of the stations.
Who were...
Well, they didn't seem to be from the company, but they was fine lads. They invited me to share a drink. And whatever it was, it had a kick to it. They wasn't English. No, I don't believe so. But see, they knew just what a man needed to brighten up his dull evening.
Короче, чилийцы набухали этого чувака.
I should use the appropriate I should use the appropriate object here. I should use... I should use... So, now he
doesn't look much like a train.
Be patient, Wat. Try using your imagination. Our train... We need to attach a...
Из огнетушителя у нас получится пневмый свисток.
The long pole is now attached. The headlight is attached. The steam whistle is now connected.
Holmes, what can we...
It is elementary, my dear Watson. The fire extinguisher. Now let us see. The steam whistle is ready. Watson, I do believe that we have created an exact replica of the train that vanished in front of us last night. The criminal mind can be most inventive. I am somewhat in awe.
So, such a thing is possible. If someone went to all the trouble of creating this fake train, then it was surely with the intention of stealing the real one.
Ah, Watson, you should not jump to conclusions. In fact, this does not tell us very much at all, except that the train did not evaporate into thin air.
Although you half suspected it.
Ah, at any rate, we now need to find where the real train might be hidden. I suggest we use my archives to find a more detailed map of our surroundings.
Well, I hope that justifies our having to load your massive archive suitcase onto the cab. It made us extremely unpopular with our driver. Holmes, how is it even possible for a
Так, поезд мы собрали.
Ah, will I ever get it?
Можем... Да. Искать в архиве. Так, где наша лошадь?
The whole train just disappeared. It's unbelievable.
Может, ты подвинешься там, я не знаю. Найс. С другой стороны.
Now we have two maps. We must combine them properly. Here it is. There is a side branch to the railway. Its first switch is located between Bridlington. There is one more station to be visited. It is located between Chesterfield and Evesham. There is a small section of a railway at the end.
На Ившем она не приехала. Нам надо чекнуть стрелку.
The switch is rusted, but it still works.
Вы вполне могли переключить, значит.
A funny character.
This scent is familiar to me, but in order to recognize it, I must combine my associations into one picture. A greenish-brown
Ёпте.
cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. Ricardo.
You already know the name of this man?
No, Watson, I refer to the cigar. It is a
Holmes, look. There's a flooded area over here.
I believe that the flooded area might be worth checking.
Вотсон, может быть, вы...
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock.
Is that so? Well, good day, gentlemen.
Кажется, ты нам врешь, меланхолик. Что значит меланхолик? Не хватает пуговицы. Да, действительно. Оторвалась след от кольца.
It appears that you may be at risk of some flooding along the line here.
You mean that the whole bloody lake is at our feet?
Quite so. But it is strange, because according to...
How should I know? I only arrived...
And where...
I was working in Nottingham, but I asked for a quieter place.
Did any passengers leave?
No. I saw no one as usual.
Goodbye, sir. It is obvious that we cannot inspect the quarry. Instead, we can check the beach area around the flooded lake.
Beach area. Теперь мы осмотрим этот вопрос.
Watson, would you like some tea?
No.
No? Он не хочет. Нам назад.
Railway post bags. This post bag belongs to the station master. The station master appears to have found himself in some financial trouble.
Ему заплатили дохуище денег за счет того, что спиздили из вот этого вот изобретения. Потому что чуваки на этом изобретении еще больше.
A telegraph.
Telegraph.
Newspaper articles on horse racing, hurdles, steeplechase, and...
Большой энтузиаст, чувак, который хочет поднять деньги на ставках.
Bettings.
Дату.
Betting slips for horse racing. Betting slips for...
Да.
The sums are quite impressive.
It can be an expensive...
Это не сбережение.
I observe that you are a gambling man, Mr. Duff. You had hoped that your relocation to this small town...
I beg your pardon? Addiction to what?
Твоих долгов, чувак.
We found a number of horse races. An expensive obsession.
It is none of your business. I occasionally...
Goodbye.
А личное. Разделять понятия. Затопленный. Надо как-то посмотреть. Должен видеть. Берег возле озера.
Here we are at the beach that is located near the quarry and Doncaster station. It doesn't look like a very good... These traces were made by a carriage. Look. The vehicle pressed this stone into the ground. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting here. Nothing. Nothing interesting. Nothing. Nothing.
Я не понимаю.
No. These traces were made by a carriage. Look. The vehicle would have been... Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Nothing in... Nothing interesting.
Что мерить-то?
Nothing interesting.
Мы можем промерить вот эту вот хрень. Она
Nothing
не хочет
interesting here.
меряться абсолютно.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing interesting here.
Что-то как-то странно.
Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting.
Вообще не понимаю,
Nothing
блядь,
interesting here.
что измерять.
The distance between the tracks is about
Надо.
6 feet 7 inches. The vehicle pressed this stone into the ground. It would have been quite heavy. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials. An abandoned gypsy caravan.
The gypsy.
This place was abandoned fairly recently.
Даже угли еще не погасли. Видимо, супер недавно.
Observing the coastline and the moored boats, we are able to see that the lake's water level dropped. The lake has flooded the quarry. The dam was probably breached.
Probably.
This place was abandoned fairly recently.
Это не все.
Holmes, how is it even...
Да, изи.
a label with the name...
Надо глянуть в архиве.
My search should be focused upon the name Las Zarpas. My search... My search should be focused... My search... Here it is.
Они, короче, погрузили в вагон на эту херню и увезли его, а потом воды стало меньше. Мне кажется, мы можем выдвигать обвинения, в принципе.
This railway branch, the rail is rusted. The switch is rusted, but it still works. The railway ends here. That is strange.
Так.
The railway ends here. That is strange.
And it's here. Это еще не все. Нам надо что-то еще.
You'll find nothing interesting here, I'm afraid.
Above this. Well, okay, I am not sure.
The whole train just disappeared. It's unbelievable.
Да может, его не утопили, он просто не доехал.
You'll find nothing interesting here, I'm afraid.
И выехал ли он вообще?
The switch is rusted, but it still works.
Бля.
I will not move.
Don't touch anything, please.
Railway post bag.
Да, блядь.
The insurance policy for Robinson's machine. A significant sum.
Don't touch anything, please.
According to this document, you have insurance for your prototype.
Oh!
Near the telegraph station.
I must have lost it when I tried to send a message, which I was prevented from doing.
I apologise for that, but regulations state that public access to the telegraph is strictly prohibited.
Upon my word, you keep on digging that hole of yours. You have no idea who I am.
I see that you kept your grip sack with you. Why don't you leave it in the luggage?
I've had other things to think about. I lost my prototype. And this idiot station master just stands here doing nothing to help.
Oh, but...
Well, that won't do at all.
I'll do it right away, sir.
This Robinson is quite a character. We should learn more about him. This grip sack.
I think we should...
Of course.
Of course. Зе.
Look, Watson. An exclusive sales contract. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another exclusive. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Yet another exclusive. Mr. Robinson is the seller. Mr. Robinson is the seller.
Походу, мистер Робинсон решил всех на хую провернуть, все понятно.
Yet another exclusive sales contract. Well, it is very clear that this Mr. Robinson received prepayments from various people for his machine.
Так, там гостер.
This ashtray is full of... Apparently, there was a conflict. A greenish-brown cigar with a... These ashes and cigar stubs are similar to the one...
That means that the fellow spent several days here, judging by his clothes.
Well concluded, my... This ashtray is... There was a gentleman of Mexican origin, I believe, in the waiting room. Did you notice him?
What? A Mexican? Here in the back of beyond? Are you quite sure about that?
Goodbye, sir.
You'll find nothing in...
Well, I'm not sure. Блять, что тут еще надо найти?
telegraph.
А телеграф. Чё-то не хватает.
You'll find nothing interesting here, I'm afraid.
Railway post.
To take a step. Everybody, come take my hand.
My. It would be quite possible for someone to redirect the train towards the mines.
Here are the mines, Holmes. They appear to be abandoned. This mine has completely collapsed, Holmes.
It is curious, but to be truthful, I am not entirely surprised.
It's difficult to follow you, Holmes.
This box must be the safe. Let's open it.
Да, возьми лопату, открой.
The Mexican company... Watson, it seems that both South American companies were involved in the purchase of the mine.
The man at Doncaster who fled our approach, he smokes Mexican cigars. Perhaps...
Yes, Watson. We should certainly speak with him.
With him.
Please, sir, we would ask you not to leave. We have some questions.
Are you the police?
No, we are employed by the railway company. We are...
Lo siento.
Really? It seemed that you were waiting here for someone.
No, I just arrived from...
A formidable journey, no doubt.
De Chile.
Держи в курсе. Перец. Народная одежда. Драчу. Это какая-то морщины, значит, он уже старый дед Драчун из Чили. Nice.
Chile? But you are Mexican.
No, you are wrong. Why would you think I'm Mexican?
Because of your cigars.
Sí, cigarrillos. So what?
Those cigars are the Ricardo brand.
Pero not your...
I don't suppose that you are on vacation.
I was to meet my fellow compañeros. Where do... I will stay here and hope that the authorities find them. Or...
Who authorized...
The company.
Could you tell me the...
It's not your...
And what is...
Enough questions.
Not a very friendly man, and he is lying. He said that he just arrived, but we...
Боевые искусства. Свяжемся с Майнкрафтом.
I asked Mycroft to find out some information on the WEA Coal Company. Here is his reply, and it is an interesting one.
Мексиканцев не было разногласий с чилийцами. Массовое убийство. Когда прошлое не из одного дня взорвали.
Nothing in. The distance but
Это другая клея.
are lightly loaded. There is a wooden bee, a small vehicle with someone removed these screws, most probably to take down the rails. A few feet of the rails have been...
Наверное, их хотели сдать на металл. А потом... Туды. Нет, поезд по этим штукам вряд ли мог заехать. Ебать. Такс. Сходятся. Не сходятся.
This is an administrative panel. See what it says.
This is an information sign. Watson, you are a gentleman, and gentlemen tend to carry handkerchiefs. Might I borrow yours?
And where is your own?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Very well. Here it is.
WEA, coal. These mines belong to them.
Oh yeah. Что пишет?
This is an unusual kind of paper. Let us look at... Sawdust. I am almost certain it is a...
Dynamite.
Да не, раз поезд пропал. Донкастер. Как можем закончить?
Your fa-
There was a building here.
But I don't understand, Holmes. Why would anyone
It was disassembled in great haste. Traces. Let's take a closer look. The distance between the tracks. The vehicle would have been heavy. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by the traces found at the disassembled shed near Eve.
Так, ну что ж, дед. Сейчас ты сядешь.
It appears that there was a small warehouse.
It was burgled overnight about 2 weeks ago.
What was in...
Nothing of value. A few hundred feet of standby rails and some spare...
See you later, my good man.
Сейчас раньше. Поезд не проехал. Family first.
Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. There were accomplices.
Ah, but I know that look. You have your own ideas. What are they, Holmes?
On the one hand, we have the local constabulary and advice from our friend Lestrade. The problem we have there is that the authorities seem to be incapable of acting. Our other option is Brother Mycroft and his tedious political games, but it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some... But I think I'd prefer to give Mycroft a chance. We should overlook our personal differences on this occasion.
Let us go home, then. I'd like to begin...
No, I did not say that we had finished here yet.
Well...
Watson, we know that the Barkazas Company directors were drowned in the flooded...
But how do you intend to prove... Oh, no. Please...
Huh. You may rest assured that I have a far better idea. We have only to use...
Of course, you already had a...
Well, the case is solved, and we shall be heading home. May we have 2 tickets to London, please?
Right away. Wait a minute. You've solved the case?
In a manner of speaking. Can you believe that the rescue service miraculously saved one of the Chileans who were on board the train? The police have ordered his immediate escort to London on the next train.
He pulled through, then? He's alive?
Yes, by extreme good fortune. His condition is quite serious, and the method of transportation has its risk, but he will be held securely by the doctor and police officers. The gentleman carries some vital information on this case. I am sure of it.
Ah, really?
Your station will be famous, Mr. Duff. The journalists will be here before you know it. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, you are under arrest.
Caramba! You traitor! You double-crossed me!
Стреляй. Это была ошибкой.
Holmes, I had to do it.
It is all right, Watson. He got what he deserved.
Oh my God! I thought I was a dead man.
You shouldn't be so glad about it. You'll be up before the judge.
Your testimony will be of great importance to the investigation. I would remind you that your cooperation will be the best way to ease your sentence.
After I returned from Afghanistan, I vowed never to take another human life.
Watson, you did in fact save a life. You should focus on that. Now come, there is still much to do.
Теперь Теперь поезд, чтобы вскрыть улики, берешь, даем без сыграл на руку, не используй баржу, чтобы помочь движению поезда, несколько затопленный карьер. Преступление. Другая версия. Хотя ладно. Хе-хе-хе. Совсем ничего. Здесь должно работать. Секунду. Да, норм. Работает.
Holmes, what happened?
I feel deathly.
And you look it. Let me examine you. Please don't tell me that you've returned to your old habits. The temperature appears to be normal. The pupil is dilated. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats. I need to concentrate. A weak pulse, around... But you're dying, Holmes. Your pulse rate is dropping. We need to get you to the hospital immediately.
The antidote. Give it to me.
The antidote? You mean that you're poisoned?
Now. Please.
Here, drink it all. Don't tell me that you did this to yourself.
Hemlock and Datura. I was compelled to.
Holmes, imagine if I'd not returned home when I did. What might have happened?
I knew that you would.
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Lestrade is here to see you.
Mr. Holmes is unable to see anyone at the moment. He is unwell.
A good day, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. I'm glad to find you here. I need your help. This is a strange one. We have brought in 2 young bankers from the city, sons of lords, members of the chamber, and so on and so forth. They were found stranded in a rowing boat that was drifting on the Thames.
A romantic escapade with an unhappy ending, Lestrade.
What? Well, yes, they were both in the bath, but... what?
As I said.
And they were tied together.
You are lacking in imagination, Inspector.
Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, there was a banner flapping about in the boat with the RMS Oceanic printed on it and signed by the Merry Men.
Нет. Дверь закрой.
The Oceanic. Isn't that the largest steamer ever built?
Yes. And these 2... Two young banker chaps are sons of the owners of the White Star Line, the company that built it. There are rumours of corruption.
I'm not interested in politics, Lestrade.
I'll keep it then. Here's another one that's a bit more complex and maybe to your liking. It's a murder, but we're unable to find any weapon. We haven't touched anything. It's at the Roman Baths in Strand Lane.
A murder, a vanishing weapon, the Roman Baths. That's for us. Watson, fetch your hat.
Бани прямо как вас.
What a beautiful place. With a dreadful murder. The body of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe is still in the steam room. It has not been touched, per your usual instructions, Mr. Holmes. I shall be waiting for you here, but please hurry.
Are you able to identify the men who were with the victim in the steam room?
Yes. The manager of the bath, Sir Gregory Pitkin, a lad from the City Council, Garrow, and an archaeologist by the name of Blinkhorn. I think the plump one, Garrow, did it. He doesn't seem right in the head.
Well, we shall see. You found no murder weapon?
No, and that's why I called you. All three witnesses and the victim were locked in when the murder occurred, and they remained so until we got here. We even had to pick the lock to enter.
I see. Was there anyone else here?
Yes, a Mr. Phillips.
Что ж, мистер Филлипс, начнем с вас.
Good day to you, Mr. Phillips. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. Would you be so kind as to answer our questions?
Certainly, sir.
Please tell us the chain of events from the start of your day. Everything that you can remember. The slightest detail may be of importance.
Very well, sir. I came in at 6:30 this morning, and I opened the baths. I made sure that the room was clean, and I prepared the towels. The brazier was still burning.
There was a fire burning all night?
Yes, Sir Gregory ordered me to light the brazier yesterday. It takes some time until the room is fully heated. The gentlemen had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. I wanted everything to be perfect. They'd been in the steam room for 20 minutes when I suddenly heard shouting. I ran to the door, but it was closed. I couldn't open it. So I ran out to the street to call for the police. One constable came up, and then there were others, and they picked the lock. Then Inspector Lestrade came along, and he told us that nothing should be touched.
Did you receive any other visitors this morning?
No one. Until these gentlemen arrived. Sir Gregory was the first. And then, while we were discussing work details, Sir Rodney and Mr. Blinkhorn arrived, and Mr. Garrow followed.
What happened after that?
I waited until they'd all entered the steam room, then I returned to the hall. The changing room door was open, so I should hear if they needed anything.
You would have heard if someone had entered or left the steam room.
Certainly, sir. These doors make a lot of noise.
Ставим картину. Щепетильный. Стрижется сам. Живет один. Блестящие пуговицы.
These baths are becoming sinister.
Any progress, Mr. Holmes?
Not now, ёпт.
The steam room.
Oh yeah.
Champagne for us.
Да нет, так просто по приколу.
An ice bucket to keep the champagne. Unopened. It was intended to be enjoyed.
Его раскрутили и просто оставили ждать своего часа.
Expensive clothes belonging to one of the men from the steam room. Clothes belonging to one of the suspects. These clothes belong to one of the suspects from the steam room.
Good Lord, Holmes.
Ah, death with a peculiarly Roman piquancy.
Like the one you almost had an hour ago.
Let us forget about that.
Смотрим тело.
There was only one hit from the weapon. It pierced the right eye straight through to the brain.
Look, Watson. He was wearing a ring. Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample. Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample.
Well, death is very recent. Between 30 minutes to 1 hour ago.
The wound should not have bled so profusely. This pool is rather large.
Значит, там не одна рана.
I think we have found all that we can here, taking into consideration the abysmal lighting. Constable, we have finished with the body.
We don't have many leads here.
What concerns me is that we still have to find the murder weapon.
Mr. Holmes?
Please have the body removed without disturbing anything else in the room.
All right, Mr. Holmes.
I was wondering, Holmes,
There are a great many.
Probably the latter. You are ridiculous. Do you know that?
The brazier is still burning. The heat here is extreme. I will need something to pick up this. It is too hot. With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away. One lens is cracked, probably due to the temp. These lenses are for myopia. The wearer is... Blood traces wiped on the towel.
It's horrible. So Rodney, he's dead. I mean...
It's horrible. I can't talk at the moment.
If you have to I found him. I touched his shoulder, thinking that he was just asleep.
Что скажешь?
I should check this blood some. This key was covered in...
Mr. Holmes?
So be sure it's true.
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
None. How many people have keys to the steam room?
We have just the one key for now, which Sir Gregory...
So, this morning...
I put the key inside my desk, but when they called, I couldn't find...
Did you leave the baths at...
No, sir, I did not.
Пиздишь.
Did you leave the bath?
No, sir, I did not.
У него была утренняя телеграмма.
You are not telling the truth, Mr. Phillips. You left your work this morning.
But how could...
The telegram...
Mr. Holmes, it's... I left the baths at 7:20. My sister wrote to me. I was away for 20 minutes.
Did you...
No, she wasn't...
Did you check to see if the...
No, I didn't. Please, Mr. Holmes, don't tell the police about this. Sir Gregory would give me the sack. I need this job.
I see. There is a bottle of champagne on ice in the...
There is? Are you quite...
What should we do next, Holmes?
Нам нужно что-то, чем мы заберем.
Mr. Holmes?
Oh.
This area serves... A glass plate negative. It is a glass plate negative of an Egyptian.
Не особо полезная информация.
Glass plate negatives. Archaeological findings. Old clay pots.
Пока у нас или кроме нету.
A shape has been cut in. Archaeological findings. Old clay pots with numbers inscribed upon them. Tools used by... I will need these...
Yeah.
My God, are you all right? I wonder how this could have happened.
Yes, it is somewhat treacherous. Fortunately, I am unscathed. To where does this corridor lead?
To the frigidarium.
Barely unscathed, and by a very small margin. Those stones were...
It does not... I should analyze this melted metal.
Damn. Так Бейкер-стрит я хотел. Нажал не туда, получается.
This is where I keep my...
Хотя...
Here it is.
By the eye he was punished, for he saw that he was not worthy. Dreadful.
Dreadful. Я думаю, пока мы прервемся и продолжим чуть позже.